You know, when I was a kid, I was pretty much allowed to watch whatever horror movie I wanted to. Parental guidance was most definitely out of the window. And they didn't really faze me, but every now and again, I come across a film that was pure nightmare fuel. And this is one of them. And this was a TV movie of Stephen King's It, starring Tim Curry as Pennywise. And in the 90s, I absolutely loved this movie. I watched it all the time. But Tim Curry's portrayal of Pennywise was absolutely terrifying to me. Every single scene in this movie terrified me as a kid, especially the scene at the beginning of the movie where Pennywise is lurking in the sewers and he introduces himself to Georgie before killing him. And then there's the scene in the shower where Pennywise comes up through the drain, making you feel like you were safe nowhere as a kid. And then of course there's the scene where the photograph actually comes alive and we see Pennywise doing his cartwheels in the background and making his way forward before his hand actually shoots out of the photograph. It's terrifying. But I think the scene which scared me the most as a child was the scene where Pennywise is digging graves. I'm not entirely sure why I found this scene so scary, but it haunted me, and it was always on my mind just before I closed my eyes and went to sleep. But Pennywise wasn't the only thing that terrified me as a child. Take Michael Jackson's Thriller video. Now I know this wasn't a movie, it's more of an extended music video or a short film, but still, it had an effect on me and it absolutely terrified me. But just like Stephen King's It, I love this video and I would watch it over and over again. And somehow, even in the daylight, it didn't seem as scary, but it still did scare me. But when the nighttime came, this music video was playing on my mind. I mean, right from the beginning of that music video where Michael Jackson goes through that transformation and turns into the werewolf, kind of like a werewolf, but it was a cat, absolutely terrified me, and I would often put the pillow in front of my face when that scene come on. But it wasn't the werewolf which scared me the most. It was the zombies. Their skin looked decayed. The way their eyes looked like they were sunken into the skull really did have an effect on me. And I think this was my very first introduction to an actual zombie. I'd never seen a zombie movie before, so this was the very first time I come across them, and every single one of them gave me the chills. Especially the one that came up through the manhole cover. I can tell you that that one appeared in my nightmares more than once. And then there was another zombie that came into shot and opened his mouth really wide, and he seemed to have like a big pool of blood in there, which really did stay with me as a kid. And then there was yet another zombie who, for some reason, had a really big crooked mouth, like his jaw had broken maybe. And it was only on for a couple of seconds, but it was something that never left my mind. And then, of course, when Michael Jackson's girlfriend is looking at all the zombies and the camera pans round and then centres on Michael Jackson, who is now a zombie himself, yeah, that really did scare the hell out of me as a kid. But it wasn't only the visuals in Michael Jackson's music video that absolutely creeped me out as a child. The way that Vincent Price delivered his monologue was another layer of this that scared the death out of me. His crackling, cackly voice and the way he did that sinister laugh at the end of the music video really did scare the bejeebers out of me. I'm just glad that music video doesn't quite bother me as much as it did when I was a kid. I'm not scared anymore. Really. Next, let's talk about Kane, the demonic preacher, cult leader, ghost from Poltergeist 2. This guy really did make me feel uneasy as a kid. The way he looked gaunt in the face, the full set of teeth, the creepy voice, and the way he smiled was truly unnerving. Later on in life, I would actually find out that the actor who played Kane, Julian Beck, was actually dying whilst they were making this. He had stomach cancer, and he died during the making of this movie, which lends a whole other eeriness to the man's performance. He really did put on a splendid job, and as a kid, he scared the hell out of me. And even now, when I've been watching clips in preparation for this video, it still is a very creepy clip, and he does a magnificent job at playing that character. And I love the line where he screams, "You're all gonna die in there."
You're gonna die in there! All of you! You are gonna die!
It really does put chills down your spine. Now, another movie that absolutely creeped me out isn't really classed as a horror movie. This one is Return to Oz. Now, if you thought Wizard of Oz was creepy, and I'm looking at you flying monkeys, believe me, it has nothing on Return to Oz. First of all, there were the wheelers in this movie, the strange humanoid creatures with elongated arms and legs which had wheels for hands and had this strange cackling laugh as he chased after Dorothy. That really did make my heart pound as a child. But the scene that really did get to me was the scene where Princess Mombi shows Dorothy her collection of decapitated heads. And if this isn't actually scary enough, we actually see that the heads are staring at Dorothy as she walks past. And then we learn that Princess Mombi wants Dorothy's head for her own. So she locks her in a room, and she's planning to wait till Dorothy gets older so she can cut off her head. And it's extra terrifying later on in the movie when Dorothy is trying to steal the powder of life, and all of the heads start screaming as Princess Mombi's decapitated body starts chasing her through the castle. It was horrifying as a child, it's horrifying as an adult, and I can't believe that movie was made for children. Next we have the movie The Exorcist, and believe it or not, it's not the possessed Reagan that actually terrified me as a kid, even though it was very scary. It was the blink and you'll miss it demonic face that pops up at various points in the movie, and it has you doubting whether you actually saw it or not. It was the eyes, man. The eyes stayed with me long after the image had actually vanished off the screen. Oh, those eyes. But it wasn't only the visuals of The Exorcist which absolutely terrified me as a child, it was also the music, and one particular piece, Tubular Bells. I hate it. That score made me so uneasy, and it's not necessarily that it reminds me of the movie. The piece of music has a whole atmosphere to itself, the way that the melodies kind of layer on top of each other, and it stays with you after the song is finished. Actually, I don't think I've ever heard the song finish because I always turn it off within seconds of it starting. Anyway, that's my examples of what scared me as a kid. What scared you as a